Hey everyone, imagine being incredibly rich, flying around in your own private jet whenever you want, yet still feeling completely alone in the world. That was my life. Hi, I'm Ava, and even though I grew up surrounded by luxury, something essential was missing: a real family. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the community. You won't want to miss what happens next in this wild story. My dad loved me, there's no doubt about that, but he was always buried in his multi-million-dollar business. He barely had time for me. I still remember the day I proudly showed him a painting I'd made. "Look, Dad, I made this for you." "Wow, honey, that's the cutest elephant I've ever seen." "But Dad, that's a horse." "Sure, we'll buy you a horse today." "No, Daddy, I don't want a horse. I drew you an elephant." He chuckled and patted my head. "Yeah, I know, baby. Daddy's put on a little weight, but you don't have to call me an elephant. I promise I'll start working out soon. Now, go play somewhere else. Daddy has to earn all this money to keep his little princess happy." But I wasn't happy. Sure, I had everything money could buy, yet I didn't have a real family. Every time I saw other kids laughing and playing with their parents, it hurt deeply. Like that day when I was 9, on my way to school. I watched a classmate jump out of his mom's small car. He noticed me staring and smiled. "Whoa, that car is awesome. It must feel great showing up in that every day." "Yeah, my dad got it for my birthday. Was that your mom who dropped you off?" "Yup." "Lucky you. I don't have a mom, in case you're wondering why I suddenly look like a sad puppy." "Oh, I didn't have one either. I used to live in an orphanage. Then a few years ago, this amazing couple adopted me. Now they're my parents." "So you got a family from an orphanage?" "Basically, you stay there for a while and then someone awesome picks you. Anyway, see you in class." He ran off, completely unaware that his words had just planted a dangerous idea in my mind. If I wanted a family, maybe all I had to do was wait in an orphanage, and sooner or later, someone would choose me too. But when I walked into the orphanage that day, the lady at the front desk looked up, surprised. Sweetie, did you get lost?"
No, I'm here to get adopted. Do I need to fill out a form? Is there a waiting list? I prefer a family with a fun grandma and a dog that doesn't bite." She stared at me like I had two heads, then called the police. Soon, my dad came to take me home. "Ava, are you crazy? Why would you walk into an orphanage like that?" "Because I thought that's how you get a family. You're barely around, Dad. You never take me out. You don't even drop me off at school. My classmate's mom does that every single day, and he's adopted. I thought if I just waited long enough, maybe someone awesome would pick me too." After that day, Dad tried to spend more time with me, but between endless meetings and 3 a.m. business calls, it just wasn't working, so he hired a nanny. That's how Maria came into my life. At first, I thought Dad was just pushing me aside again, so I made it my mission to scare her away. I hid her phone, poured salt in her tea, and faked allergies to every meal she cooked. But Maria never got angry. She just smiled, cleaned up the mess, and kept going. Then one night, I felt terribly sick. Dad was out of town and couldn't return until morning, so Maria stayed with me. "You can leave whenever you want. I'm used to being alone." "I could, but I'm not leaving you with a fever. Besides, I hate my tiny room. Yours is way cooler, and I'm bored too. Mind if I watch a movie on your TV while you rest?" "What movie?" "Moana, it's my favorite." "No way, mine too." That night, Maria sat beside me as I curled up under my blanket, watching Moana and sipping the best chicken soup I'd ever tasted. From that moment, we grew closer. She helped me get ready for school, picked me up, assisted with homework, and showed up for every school event. On weekends, we'd camp in the backyard while she told me the wildest stories. Life felt good, and it only got better with time. I was doing well in school, had great friends, and a busy social life. I was finally happy, until my 17th birthday, when Dad came home with a surprise. "Sweetie, this is Cynthia and her daughter Maddie. We're getting married soon." "You're what? When? Why am I only hearing about this now?" "I wanted to be sure before telling you." "Yeah, Dad, but what about me?"
"Big sis," Maddie jumped in excitedly. "We're going to be a family soon. I've always wanted a big sister. They braid your hair, teach you makeup, and you can borrow their clothes. You'll let me borrow yours, right?" Yay?" Not long after, Cynthia and Maddie officially moved in. Maddie was loud, dramatic, and full of energy, while Cynthia was calm, polite, and always watching with that strange, unreadable smile that gave me chills. It felt off, but Dad looked happier than he had in years, so I pushed my doubts aside and tried to go with the flow. On the wedding day, I was excited to give my toast for Dad, but before I could speak, Maddie snatched the mic. I just can't thank the Lord enough for letting me share my life with my new dad. Can I call you Dad? And my sister Anna. Wait, it's Ava? Yeah, but Anna sounds so much cuter. You guys watch MSA, right? It's the best channel ever. Subscribe now, people. It'll change your life. Anyway, I'm so happy to finally call these beautiful people my family. Then she started sobbing dramatically, and everyone dabbed their eyes. I stood there in disbelief. If you've ever felt pushed aside in your own family, drop a comment below and share your thoughts with us. As the days passed, Maddie went completely overboard. She revamped my mom's old dress by chopping off the frills, took over my room because hers felt too small, raided my closet, and clung to me constantly at school. It was suffocating. One day, I hid in the guest room just to get some space. What are you doing in here? Maria asked gently. I'm hiding because if I have to look at Maddie's face for one more second, I'll lose my mind. She's like 10 hyper toddlers stuffed into one person, and Cynthia's creepy smiles. Dad seems so happy with his new family. I don't even matter anymore. That's not true. You know your dad loves you. Maybe he thinks making them feel welcome will help everyone settle in. Talk to him and tell him how you're feeling. He's not a mind reader. Maria smiled and handed me my favorite dessert. For a moment, I felt a little better. All night I rehearsed what I would say to Dad, but the next morning he turned to me angrily. What is this I'm hearing, Ava? Maddie shoved her phone in my face. It was a secret recording of me talking to Maria the night before.
You were bad-mouthing me to the maid? You said you hate me and wish I was gone. I never said that. I only said I felt suffocated because I've never had to share my space before. I just need time to adjust. You wanted a family, and I gave you one. Now it's too much? Like this video if you can relate to feeling replaced or overwhelmed by sudden family changes, and share it with the friend who needs to hear this story too. The argument escalated. Dad told me he didn't want to see me right now and left for an important meeting abroad. I kept calling, but he never answered. Then one evening, Maria rushed into my room in panic. It's your dad. His plane is missing. My world shattered. I dropped to my knees and sobbed. The next few days, I did everything possible to find him, calling the police, airport authorities, but there were no answers. I was devastated. Meanwhile, Cynthia and Maddie acted like nothing had happened. They even threw parties and invited friends over while Dad was still missing. Things only got worse. Cynthia started changing everything in the house, replacing furniture, firing staff, and turning our home into something unrecognizable. Then came Maddie's 15th birthday. While I was still heartbroken over Dad, she was busy choosing dresses and planning her perfect party. How can you even think about a stupid dress when Dad is still missing? He's not my father biologically. This is my first real birthday party, and I don't want to ruin it. Who knows if he'll even come back? That was the last straw. I snatched the dresses and threw them out the window. We fought until Cynthia pulled us apart. I got grounded, but Maddie still got her big celebration. Later that night, as I lay in bed, I overheard Cynthia and Maddie talking. This was the worst birthday ever. What if she wakes up one day and poisons me? Mom, she's insane. Relax, honey. She won't be around much longer. Wait, are we going to kill her? For heaven's sake, no. I found documents in your daddy dearest study. Ava is adopted. She's not even his biological daughter, but I'm his legal wife. When the time comes, we won't have any trouble taking over everything. Legally, she's nothing. The words hit me like a punch. I was adopted. Why had Dad never told me? The next morning, I snuck into Cynthia's room and found the adoption papers. There was no information about my real parents. Desperate for answers, I went to the orphanage listed on the documents, but they refused to help. Maybe I was destined to be rejected by every family I tried to belong to. That's when a familiar voice spoke behind me. That's a bit dramatic, don't you think? It was Liam, the guy from school who was always building strange gadgets during lunch. He overheard my situation and offered to help find my real parents. In return, he asked if I could get his inventions into a big tech convention through my dad's connections. We made a deal. Together, we planned a secret mission to sneak into the orphanage at night and check the records. But just as we were about to leave, Maddie spotted us and caused a dramatic scene in the cafeteria, trying to ask Liam to prom in the most embarrassing way possible.
That night, we slipped into the orphanage. The computer had no records of my adoption. While searching, we hid when we heard footsteps and saw Maria shaking hands with the receptionist, thanking her for deleting the records. I was crushed. The one person I trusted most had betrayed me. I confronted Maria at home. "You knew I was adopted? Why did you delete the records? I saw you." "Ava, some truths are better left undiscovered. Your life here is far better than anything your biological parents could have given you." I was furious. I fired her on the spot and told her I never wanted to see her again. The next morning, she was gone. I locked myself in my room, heartbroken, refusing to eat or talk to anyone. A week later, Liam showed up and told me something shocking. Maria had worked at the orphanage when I was adopted, and she had a famous sister who suddenly disappeared around the time I was born. The timelines matched. Maria might actually be my aunt, and her sister could be my real mother. I immediately tried calling Maria, but she didn't answer. With Liam's help, we tracked her down to a quiet house on the outskirts of the city.
When I confronted her, she finally told me the truth. Her sister was my biological mother, a young actress who got involved in scandals and eventually left me with Maria. Maria tried to raise me but couldn't, so she put me up for adoption. Later, when she learned my adoptive mom had passed and my dad needed a nanny, she took the job just to be close to me again. I was overwhelmed with emotions. That doesn't matter. You've always been a mom figure to me. Knowing we're actually family makes me even happier. We hugged and cried together. Liam joined in too. For the first time in a long while, I felt real love and belonging. Maria then revealed she had been investigating Cynthia. Cynthia was a con woman who had scammed multiple men before. Dad was just her next target. We confronted Cynthia at home during one of her parties. "We know everything about your scams. Leave now or we go to the police." Cynthia tried to fight back, but the evidence was overwhelming. She and Maddie were forced to leave. Soon after, the police arrested Cynthia for fraud. Maddie, being underage, was placed in foster care. With Cynthia gone, things slowly started returning to normal, except we still had no news about Dad. Weeks passed and I was losing hope. Then one day at school, Liam came running. "Ava, there's a man here looking for you." My heart raced as I ran outside. There he was, my dad. I flew into his arms. He explained that the plane had technical issues and made an emergency landing on a remote island. During that time, he realized how much he had neglected me and promised things would change. "Blood or not, you've always been my daughter. I'll always love you." "I love you too, Dad." In the end, I learned that family isn't just about blood. It's about the people who never leave your side, the ones who show up for you no matter what. What do you think will happen next in stories like this? Have you ever discovered surprising family secrets? Leave your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss future stories. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.